Management Authority, that is NEMA, county governments and public health authorities and other regulators to monitor toxic exposure, hotspots, and ensure timely remediation and public protection. So that is part of the question, or some of the questions that once the CES for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry makes her way into the chamber, will be able to understand. Over 95% of e-waste is sorted by unregulated, unprotected, informal workers. This is a concern that has been raised in the country, and these informal workers also include children who do not have protective gear. So this is actually a matter of concern, not just for the environment, but also a public health concern. If you are just joining us, that the House is about to commence its sitting. At the time the prayer was said and the chair taken, the House did not have quorum. However, we can see more members have walked into the chamber. The 10-minute quorum bell has lapsed, and we should be hearing from the Speaker on whether that quorum has been attained for the House to be able to commence its sitting. This is as provided for in the House Standing Order number 40. Standing Order number 39 indicates that the quorum at the commencement of a sitting shall be 15 senators. And Standing Order number 40 indicates that if that is not present, then that quorum bell shall be on, of course, to give room to the members who perhaps may be running late to be able to hasten their steps and get into the House. So with that number of senators who have walked in as the quorum bell was on, I believe it has been attained. We need to understand that from the Speaker, and thereafter the business of the day shall commence. Let's listen in.
You can ring the bell again for a further 5 minutes.
At the lapse of the 10-minute quorum bell, the House has not corrected yet, and the Speaker has directed a further 5-minute quorum bell to be on, of course, to be able to allow more members to make their way into the House. However, we have a considerable number of members already in the chamber, and we believe the quorum shall be attained in a few. Allow me to hand you over.
We'll start business. Clerk. Order, senators. Order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Under senators, today, this morning, we were expecting 3 CSs. The CS for mining and brew economy. All letter that is not available today due to other engagements. The CS for roads also was to appear to answer 3 questions, but also they have some engagements within the ministry. So he is also not appearing this morning. The third one is the CS for environment, climate change and forestry. I understand the CS is around. So I think, Clerk, Sergeant at Arms, you can usher in the CS. Then we proceed with the question that has been asked by Senator Aminda Kibwana. Honorable Senators, now the CS for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry is in the House. Welcome, Madam CS and your team from the Ministry. Welcome to the Senate. And this is not your first time to appear before the Senate. Senator Aminda Kibwana, you can ask question number 049.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, Madam Waziri Karibu. Welcome. My first question number 049. My first question, Madam CS, could you kindly explain the enforcement measures in place to prevent and punish industrial pollution, unsafe e-waste handling, toxic dumping, and other environmental practices that expose Kenyans to hazardous substances in soil, water, and air? I'll go to the second question, question B. What coordination framework exists among the ministry, the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, county governments, public health authorities, and other regulators to monitor toxic exposure, hotspots, and ensure timely remediation and public protection? The third question, could the CS state whether the ministry has undertaken a national or sector-based assessment of environmental health risks from lead, heavy metals, hazardous waste, open burning, and industrial contamination, and what were the findings? Finally, what policy and enforcement reforms, drawing on lessons from countries with stronger hazardous waste and pollution control regimes, in the ministry pursuing to strengthen environmental health protection in Kenya? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Madam CS, proceed and then give your response.
Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Senators, I rise to respond to parliamentary question number 049, raised by nominated Senator Honorable Hamida Kibwana, MP, on the prevention of industrial pollution, unsafe e-waste handling, toxic dumping, and other environmental practices that expose Kenyans to hazardous substances in soil, water, and air. I wish to begin by thanking the Honorable Senator for raising the critical matter affecting the health, dignity, and environmental well-being of our citizens. The Ministry of Environment, Climate Change, and Forestry, through the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, remains committed to the pursuit of a clean, healthy, and safe environment for all, as envisaged under Article 42 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. With regards to enforcement measures in place to prevent and punish industrial pollution, unsafe e-waste handling, toxic dumping, and other environmental practices exposing Kenyans to hazardous substances, Mr. Speaker, sir, NEMA derives its enforcement mandate primarily from the Environmental Management and Coordination Act, CAP 387, and its attendant regulations. The key legislations guiding enforcement in this context include the Sustainable Waste Management Act 2022, the Environmental Management and Coordination Air Quality Regulation 2024, MCA Water Quality Regulation 2024, MCA Waste Management Regulation 2024, and the Environmental Management and Coordination Regulation on Management of Toxic and Hazardous Chemicals and Materials, the Environmental Management and Coordination Regulation on Impact Assessment and Audit 2003, the Sustainable Waste Management Extended Producer Responsibility Regulation 2024. NEMA deploys trained and gazetted environmental inspectors to carry out targeted and random inspection of facilities across the country, pursuant to Section 117, into brackets 1 of MCA Cap 387. Gazettement is conferred only after an officer successfully completes the requisite basic enforcement course. Notably, NEMA has extended gazettement to officers from other lead agencies, including county governments, to broaden enforcement coverage. Enforcement actions have been significantly intensified. In financial year 2024-25, NEMA conducted targeted enforcement of water quality regulation across 101 facilities within the Nairobi metropolitan area, issuing directives to immediately halt illegal discharges and comply with environmental standards. And let me wish to say that you can see the restoration occurring right now through the Nairobi River Restoration Program. The authority has additionally set a target of identifying and stopping 400 illegal discharge points along the Athi, Galana, Sabaki river system, with mapping and improvement orders already issued in 2024-2025. Similarly, NEMA identified and stopped 405 illegal discharges along the Athi, Galana, Sabaki river in the financial year 2025-2026, and an additional 197 for this quarter. Mr. Speaker, sir, environmental audits constitute an additional enforcement tool. All highest-risk facilities are required to submit annual audits indicating the measures instituted to comply with the environmental management plans. Financial year 2024-2025, a total of 6,673 audits were submitted, and in 2025-2026, this rose to 9,798 audits, all reviewed with records of decision, including improvement orders issued to operators. Furthermore, 22 control environmental audits were conducted in 2024-2025, targeting hospitals, agrochemicals, renewable energy, and mining sectors, and 16 control audits were done 2025-2026, targeting asbestos disposal facilities. On extended producer responsibility, the framework compels producers to take responsibility for their waste post-consumer phase. 4 producer responsibility organizations currently operate in the country, managing non-hazardous, hazardous, and e-waste streams. To date, 296 producers whose materials were found polluting rivers have been compelled to undertake cleanup activities and assume responsibility for their waste streams. Environmental restoration orders were issued as follows. The EPR along Nairobi River catchment, Nairobi, Ngong, and Mathare rivers. The action taken was environmental restoration orders, which were issued to 29 companies to clean sections of those rivers. That was, the cleanup date was on 24th March 2024. EPR along Ngong River, that was done on 31st January 2024, where the ERO, that is environmental restoration orders, were issued to 86 companies. And then for EPR along Kandisi River on 9th August, where EROs were issued to 77 companies, and a cleanup conducted on 2nd to 6th October 2024. And EPR along Kirichwa River on 22nd November 2024, where ERO was issued to 104 companies. In the addendum, I believe it's important that we note that before the gazettement of the Sustainable Waste Management Extended Producer Responsibility Regulations of 2024, the authority proactively undertook enforcement of EPR through Section 13 of the Sustainable Waste Management Act of 2022. During that period, NEMA compelled producers to undertake cleanup as highlighted in the tabulation. However, the authority changed its enforcement strategy after the gazettement of the Sustainable Waste Management Extended Producer Responsibility Regulations of 2024 from cleanups to issuance of orders to producer responsibility organizations, directing them to ensure full compliance of the regulation on behalf of their members. To further ensure reduced pollution, NEMA has compelled PROs to get into consensus regarding compensation of value chain actors, especially waste pickers, aggregators, and transporters, to enhance waste collection and evacuation to recyclers and safe disposal. On 10th July 2026, NEMA witnessed reaching agreement between waste pickers and one PRO, HAPROC, whereby they will be compensated at a rate of Kenya shillings 20 per kilogram of hazardous waste collected. Other players such as aggregators and transporters will be compensated at a rate of 7.5 Kenya shillings and 15 Kenya shillings respectively. In this regard, waste collection will become a revenue stream for the value chain actors and enhance reduce pollution. NEMA has directed all PROs to enter into similar agreements with value chain actors to incentivize waste collection and management. Additionally, NEMA partnered with the Kenya National Cleaner Production Center in financial year 2023-2024 to inspect and analyze wastewaters from 260 facilities within the Nairobi River Basin, leading to identification and mitigation of key industrial pollution sources. In 2025-2026, in-plant assessments were conducted in 26 facilities. 5 industries halted pollution by installing new effluent treatment plants, and 10 non-functional ETPs were revived. Where inspections reveal non-compliance, enforcement actions available to NEMA include, number 1, improvement orders under Section 117(3)(g) of MCA, directing cessation of environmentally harmful activities and requiring remedial measures within specified timeline. Number 2, restoration orders under Section 108(1) of MCA, requiring restoration of the environment to its pre-pollution state. And number 3, closure orders under Section 117(3)(f) of MCA, directing immediate closure of non-compliant manufacturing or industrial establishment. Resumption of operation is permissible only with written approval from the Director General. 2 facilities this year, 2025-2026, were issued closure orders following inspections. And finally, arrest and prosecution before a court of law under Section 117(3)(h) of MCA as a last resort. In financial year 2024-2025, 5 individuals were arrested and prosecuted for environmental offenses related to the illegal discharge of effluents. The second one was on coordination framework among the ministry, NEMA, county government, public health authorities, and other regulators to monitor toxic exposure hotspots and ensure timely remediation and public protection. Mr. Speaker, sir, environmental pollution is most effectively addressed through a multi-agency approach. The ministry, through NEMA, has spearheaded collaboration among relevant agencies and county governments through the following mechanisms. The Environmental and Social Impact Assessment Process, Section 58 of MCA, requires that ESIA process take precedence over any other regulatory process and be completed before any project commences. As part of this process, copies of ESIA reports are shared with relevant lead agencies for technical input before a record of decision is made. This multi-agency collaboration enables early identification of negative impacts on public health and the environment, with appropriate remedial conditions embedded in ESIA licenses, which cover the entire project life cycle, from pre-construction to decommissioning. The ESIA process, therefore, serves as an early warning system that safeguards public health while fostering interagency collaboration. Secondly, joint enforcement action. NEMA conducts joint enforcement operations with relevant ministries, lead agencies, and county governments targeting sector-specific high-risk facilities. For instance, NEMA has undertaken joint inspection with the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, targeting non-compliant facilities in the petroleum sector, and has partnered with the Nairobi City County Government in mapping and cracking down on noise pollution hotspots. Capacity building through the basic enforcement course. NEMA trains officers from other lead agencies and county governments through the basic enforcement course, designed to equip officers with skills to undertake effective enforcement within their respective mandates. Officers completing the BEC are eligible for gazettement, extending decentralized enforcement capacity across the country. NEMA Incident Management System. NEMA operates an incident management system through which the public can report environmental incidents nationwide. The authority maintains a database of contact persons from all lead agencies across the country. Upon receipt and categorization of an incident, NEMA forwards it to the relevant lead agencies for prompt action, playing a key coordination role in averting further pollution. In financial year 2025-2026, 12 incidences involving releases, spills, leaks, fires, or explosions with toxic or hazardous chemicals, including ammonia, chloryl, volatile organic compounds, pesticides, and industrial solvents, were responded to. These incidents remain under active monitoring pending full restoration of affected areas. National or sector-based assessment of environmental health risk from lead, heavy metals, hazardous waste, open burning, and industrial contamination, and the findings. Mr. Speaker, sir, the ministry through NEMA undertook a comprehensive nationally coordinated assessment of environmental health risk under the Africa Environmental Health and Pollution Management Program implemented between 2020 and 2025, with support from the World Bank and the Global Environmental Facility. The program specifically targeted pollution risks associated with e-waste, hazardous chemicals, and unintentional persistent organic pollutants, which are closely linked to heavy metals, open burning, and industrial contamination pathways. Key outputs of the program: a national e-waste inventory covering all 47 counties, and a countrywide solid waste situation analysis, including identification and mapping of pollution hotspots. The second output, a national database on toxic substances and e-waste generation, providing empirical evidence on the scale and distribution of hazardous materials nationwide. Thirdly, UPOPs, hotspot mapping, identifying areas with elevated risks of toxic emissions associated with open burning of waste, informal recycling, and poorly controlled disposal sites. And fourth, development and deployment of monitoring, screening, and evaluation tools for environmental inspectors, with over 100 inspectors trained to detect and track releases of hazardous pollutants. The key findings from these assessments are as follows. Open burning of mixed waste and e-waste is a significant source of toxic emissions, including UPOPs and heavy metals, posing significant serious risk to air quality and public health, particularly in urban centers where waste segregation is limited and the informal sector dominates the recycling value chain. Secondly, informal e-waste management practices, including manual dismantling and crude material recovery techniques, expose workers and nearby communities to hazardous substances such as lead, mercury, and other heavy materials, with risk especially pronounced in unregulated environments lacking protective measures and pollution control technologies. Thirdly, stakeholder mapping and value chain analysis identified systemic gaps in hazardous waste management, including weak collection systems, limited formal recycling infrastructure, and inadequate awareness among key actors, contributing directly to environmental contamination and human exposure. And fourthly, the assessment highlighted limitations in analytical infrastructure, particularly laboratory capacity for comprehensive analysis of air and soil contamination, underscoring the need for continued investment in environmental monitoring system. These findings have since informed key policies and regulatory actions, including the gazettement of the Waste Management Regulation 2024, the Extended Producer Responsibility Regulation 2024, and the Framework for Management of Toxic and Hazardous Substances. Policy and enforcement reforms, drawing on lessons from countries with stronger hazardous waste and pollution control regimes, being pursued to strengthen environmental health protection in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, the government through the ministry and NEMA is implementing a suite of policy and enforcement reforms informed by international best practices from jurisdictions with advanced hazardous waste and pollution control system and multilateral environmental agreements, including the Basel, Stockholm, and Minamata conventions. In terms of strengthened legal framework, the ministry has strengthened the legal framework through operationalization of the Sustainable Waste Management Act and the gazettement of the 2024 Waste Management and Extended Producer Responsibility Regulations. These reforms adopt the polluter pays principle and a life cycle management approach requiring producers to take full responsibility for hazardous and post-consumer waste consistent with best practices in the European Union. Additionally, regulations on the management of toxic and hazardous chemicals and materials have been developed and are being implemented, including stricter controls on generation, transport, storage, and disposal. In risk-based and intelligence-led enforcement, the government is transitioning from reactive compliance to a risk-based intelligence-led enforcement model, including targeted inspections in pollution hotspots, strengthened environmental audits, and the deployment of monitoring and screening tools to track releases of heavy metals, UPOPs, and other hazardous pollutants. On enhanced interagency coordination, the ministry is enhancing interagency coordination frameworks, bringing together NEMA, county governments, public health authorities, and sector regulators to enable joint inspections, data sharing, and coordinated response to environmental health risks in line with integrated regulatory approaches applied internationally. Formalization of informal e-waste sectors. Recognizing the role of informal sector in hazardous waste exposure, particularly the e-waste management, the government is promoting formalization and integration of informal operators into compliance systems, including support for material recovery facilities, licensed recyclers, and safer technologies, drawing lessons from countries that have successfully transitioned informal waste systems into regulated circular economy models. In institutional capacity and compliance assurance, the ministry is investing in training of environmental inspectors, strengthening laboratory and monitoring infrastructure, and digitizing compliance processes to enhance transparency, traceability, and enforcement efficiency. Enforcement measures have also been strengthened through enhanced penalties, closure orders, restoration directives, and mandatory remediation requirements for polluters along the application of EPR obligations to ensure industry accountability. For public disclosure and community engagement, the ministry is advancing public disclosure and community engagement mechanisms, including access to environmental information and grievance redress systems, recognizing that transparency and citizen oversight are critical components of effective pollution control regimes globally. Collectively, these reforms are positioning Kenya towards a modern, preventive, and enforcement-driven environmental management system capable of effectively addressing risks from hazardous waste, industrial pollution, and toxic substances while safeguarding public health and the environment. Mr. Speaker, sir, the government remains firmly committed to protecting all Kenyans from the harmful effects of industrial pollution, hazardous waste, and toxic exposure. We will continue to enforce our laws with vigor, deepen interagency collaboration, and draw on global best practices to ensure that every Kenyan enjoys the constitutional right to a clean and healthy environment. I thank you, Mr. Sir.
Very well, Madam CS. Now, Senator Minda Kibona, do you have any supplementary questions? You have a privilege to ask 2 supplementary questions. 2.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I thank Madam CS for her response. Though I feel some were responded, but then it still provides some broad description of laws and activities, but leaves important gaps regarding enforcement outcomes, which affects, of course, communities, timelines, and accountability. My first question is that kindly, Madam CS, explain why, despite the thousands of environment audits and widespread non-compliance, among them, only 5 individuals were prosecuted. And that is financial year 2024-2025. And only 2 facilities were issued with closure orders. And the state, why, said the outcomes of these prosecutions, because I just felt that there was, a gap hanging, and that was not explained well. Number 2, when will the ministry actually publish the national e-waste inventory? Because you have actually tried to elaborate on that, but then at least you have not told us when the inventory will be published. And then also regarding the pollution hotspots and the maps which have been developed under the Africa Environment and Health Pollution Management Program, so that at least the Parliament can, can affect sorry, I was just looking at that respond. I realized so that the Parliament and affected communities can assist the risk and monitor remediation, because you talked about the database, but then at least we need to understand the timelines and exactly how it's going to be implemented, so that we can also support. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Madam CS.
Thank you. Yes, so with regards to the prosecution, what we had talked about is it is a process. First of all, we start with the improvement orders, directing the cessation of environmentally harmful activities and requiring remedial measures within specified timelines. We give timelines to the companies or the polluters. And additionally, we have also the closure orders, or those who are undergoing restoration, who need to undergo restoration to ensure that it's at a pre-pollution state. We give them the order and give them timelines to address that. And then after that, if that doesn't occur, then the closure orders, which directs immediate closure of the non-compliant manufacturers or industrial establishment. And the resumption is only permissible through written approval by the Director General. And if that doesn't occur, then arrest and prosecution is the final line. As you well are aware, industrialization is ongoing, but we have to ensure that we are protecting our environment. So those are the key steps that we follow up to support the various industries so that there is no pollution that takes place. So that is the question on why, despite audits, only 5 prosecutors and 2 facilities have been closed. With regards to outcome, we continue monitoring. We conduct, as you have seen, the water quality monitoring, air quality monitoring, and other forms of assessment and enforcement by the individuals. So in terms of the publication of the e-waste inventory, it is ongoing. And Honorable Speaker, honorable members, we want to assure you that we'll be able to share that with you for purposes of advocacy, even as we go to implementation. As you are aware, the key thing, the game changer for us was the extended producer responsibility, which has been the Sustainable Waste Management EPR regulation, which now proactively looks into enforcement. Previously, it was about cleanups, but after we had passed the EPR, there is issuance of orders to producer responsibility organizations to ensure full compliance of the regulation on behalf of their members who are the polluters. So they are the ones who are supporting us across the value chain of waste management to ensure that there is that they are managing waste from the waste pickers to the aggregators to the recyclers to safe disposal. They will be receiving a certain amount of money so that they can support in waste management. And this is really a sustainability plan, a revenue generating stream for the value chain actors, while we are reducing pollution and ensuring that we have a clean and safe and healthy environment.
Very well, Senator. Now, in my dashboard, I have 12 senators who have supplementary questions. So we really must manage our time. If I give you a chance, you should go directly and ask your question. Just one question, so that we can clear the big number of senators who want to engage the CS. So I want to start with the minority leader.
Asante mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, nataka kumuuliza Bi Waziri wa Mazingira, Tabia Nchi na Misitu amechukua hatua gani ili kuweza kutetea na ni hatua gani vile vile anaweza kuadhibu hizi kampuni ambazo zinamwaga maji ya sumu au uchafu na yanayotumika katika makampuni. Haya maji yanatumika kutoka kwa zile kampuni ambazo zinamwaga huu uchafu yaliyoko katika mazingira ya Kilifi County, hususan makampuni ambayo yako katika maeneo au mazingira wanaoishi wa Kenya, na vile vile zile kampuni ni zile ziko katika maeneo yako Kilifi, mahali kama Kikambala ama mpaka Mtwapa. Na pia ni hatua gani anaochukua kuweza kuona kwamba maji kama haya yanaweza kuleta ugonjwa katika mazingira, na pia vile vile kuweza kuathiri udongo au mchanga ambao unatumika na maji ambayo yako na maji haya yako na hewa ile yake ambayo ni chafu inatoka katika hayo maeneo. Kwa hiyo ni hatua gani katika wizara yake inaweza inafanya ama imechukua kuona kwamba makampuni kama haya yanazuia uchafu kama huu kutoathiri ardhi na binadamu pia vile vile? Asante mstahiki Spika.
Madam CS, I will request you just record down the questions so that you take at least 5, you can respond to them, and then we proceed in that manner. Senator Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to direct this to the Cabinet Secretary. What happened to the 2017 ban on the polythene bags for single use? Because in some regions, like rural areas, those polythene bags for single use are re-emerging, and it's actually a very serious matter because guys are looking for cheap packaging material. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to know what happened to the order for compensation of Uhuru, the compensation of Uhuru settlement guys who are actually affected, and the court order that they be compensated. I wish to know what NEMA has to say concerning that specific court order. Thank you.
Senator Okenyuri, you know you are my younger sister, so I didn't want to harass you. But kindly stick to one question. Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am also your young brother, and I hope you're not going to harass me. Mr. Speaker, following the Speaker, I would want to establish through you, Mr. Speaker, whether the Director General of NEMA accompanied the CS to this place.
Are you done with your question?
No, I just want to know, Mr. Speaker. There is a serious issue here, very, very serious issue.
So prosecute your question because the invite was.
Okay, that's fine, Mr. Speaker. That's okay.
We don't invite the Director General.
That's okay, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if the NEMA Director General is not here, I would be requesting the Committee on Environment to bring the Director General at some point to this House. Because the Speaker, NEMA, from where I sit, is a problem, not a solution to the management of environment in this country. They are accomplices in the destruction of our environment. Mr. Speaker, Straight to the question to the CS. And I'm happy that the questions were direct, but the responses are all over the page, Mr. Speaker. I have an issue with the Speaker. I asked you to be patient with me, just the way you are patient with your young sister. Mr. Speaker, there is a response on an environmental restoration orders to companies that have been found to be polluting our rivers. And if you look at the response, Mr. Speaker, on page 5, you realize that the responses give a date, just one day, for restoration of rivers that have been destroyed over the years. The Speaker, is the CS serious? Does she want to own these responses, or she wants to draw them back to NEMA? Then we can deal with NEMA when they come here. Because you cannot restore a river for a day, a river that has been destroyed over the years, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
You know, we are dealing with the science. That is why I'm giving members time to explain themselves thoroughly. This is a technical matter that we handle. And mark you, the person chairing is an expert in what you are addressing. So I understand your concerns very well. I'm a lead expert and I know what is happening around. Next is, you know, today my spirit is asking me to recognize the leadership of the House. Deputy Minority Whip, Deputy Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday I had occasion to pass by Lavington Girls, and the most surprising thing, Honorable Speaker, is that Lavington Girls, as the name suggests, is actually in Lavington, and they are still cooking using firewood, Honorable Speaker, and it is causing a very big problem to residents who live behind the school on Ndoto Road there. The smoke goes directly into their houses. At some point, this administration had assured us that we are going to transition to clean cooking in our schools. So the question that I want to direct to the Minister for Environment, is it still government policy of the Kenya Kwanza administration to transition all public schools from cooking using firewood to clean energy cooking in our schools? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Maybe the last one, then she can answer those. Then I'll pick more. Senator Joe Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and allow me to first seek your intervention. I had a question for the Minister for Roads and Transport, Mr. Speaker.
The CS for...
I'm coming to that, Mr. Speaker. It's just a comment I'm making that it's important that we are informed in advance if the CS is not going to be coming, because I'm supposed to be...
take that as your question, that the supplementary question is on the
Mr. Speaker, don't be so hard on me. Although we don't belong to the same political side, Mr. Speaker, please allow me to... I was making a request to you.
Senator Newton, just have your seat. You know the chair here, if you have realized what I've done this morning, right? Actually, I've recognized members who are not in the same. The chair is impartial completely. And there is no chair who chairs this House on political issues or political lines. And that is not the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. Maybe other houses, but not in the Senate, not this one. So maybe first you should withdraw your comment, that very negative comment on the chair.
Okay, Chair.
Because I don't mind wherever political space you are occupying.
Okay.
That is your business, you know.
Chair, I'm well guided, Chair. And I withdraw. I was just saying Chair, I was requesting you that it's important that we be advised in advance, maybe through the order paper.
If you have withdrawn, ask your question, or then we can create some time to discuss the CS for rules.
Okay, Chair, I was saying that because I was supposed to be in all Kalau, but I'm here. But let me ask you my questions, Chair, to the CS on environment. Chair, let me ask the question directly, Chair. Is the CS aware of an arrangement that the government has with the avocado processors in Murang'a County to be able to absorb waste? Because, Mr. Speaker, the only useful percentage of an avocado fruit is 5%. So disposal of the 95% waste is a big challenge to avocado processors. And the avocado processors have an arrangement with the government to make arrangement for absorption of the waste. So is the CS aware of this? And what are we doing to assist these processors who are taking up the avocado fruit, especially in Murang'a County? Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I do apologize if by my comment I hurt you. I was only requesting you to intervene in that matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Madam CS, you can answer those 5 questions, then we make progress.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. First of all, regarding the e-waste inventory, it was done in all the 47 counties, as I had said, and this was through NEMA and World Bank, and they published the report, and the report is on the website. And as I had said clearly, following the reports that we received, they were able to guide us in coming up with our Environmental Management Coordination Acts, amending them, and ensuring that we have incorporated the concerns that we had highlighted. And then the other question was for regulatory impact assessment. That was also done.
Madam says if you could also maybe identify the senator's question that you're answering, so that we are clear, so that we don't repeat again.
Yes, this was for...
To know the members slowly, so that you just select on the name. Proceed, Madam CS. Are you listening to the members? Just listen to the chair. On the senators.
So the e-waste collection centers are in Kisumu, also in Mombasa, and additional 2 counties. Both have been established and are running. So we continue with the support in e-waste collection. And the question on non-compliance is for the people who have been prosecuted, ODPP are the ones, we channel that to ODPP. There was a question with regards to water pollution and air pollution within the coastal region. Sorry, I was scribbling very fast. Recently, the ministry had launched the COSEM for continuous monitoring, water quality monitoring, air quality monitoring across the country, whereby we have also instructed the companies, the manufacturing industries to ensure that the machinery is there and we are assessing the quality, so that if it is above a certain threshold and that Kenyans are really being exposed to this kind of waste, then the ministry and NEMA is able to take action. So the process is ongoing. We had the acts, the regulations are there. Now we have moved to implementation. And I can really tell you that the work is ongoing and monitoring and evaluation is taking place. It was just 1 month ago when I was in NEMA. I was able to see the dashboard. We were able to identify the notorious companies, and we are able to address the issues exhaustively. So the support is really for all the manufacturing companies, the industries, to be able to install, and then for NEMA, we are able to do that on our part, but also we are encouraging the industries and manufacturing companies to install. That way we can be able to exhaustively monitor whenever there are increased emissions within our environment. So I can assure you that is ongoing, air quality as well as water quality monitoring. Even recently, I think it was 3 months ago, where we were able to close one of the facilities where we had untreated effluent discharge into our Athi River, and were able to close very quickly. And the measures that took place are also water quality monitoring to be able to assess and see what kind of effluent is being discharged. Is it treated or untreated? So I can assure you that work is ongoing in terms of monitoring emissions into our environment. The regulations on e-waste. The regulations on e-waste have been developed. They are still pending at AG's office. We continue to push to ensure that we can have them exhaustive and implemented holistically. In terms of industries, all industries are required to have pre-treatment of waste, as I had said, and we are monitoring the effluent, as I had said. The Owino Uhuru budget plan for this financial year is 200 million. It has been included in the budget. We hope we can get the money so that we can address that concern. Then on clean cooking, a lot has been done on clean cooking. First of all, we developed our nationally determined contribution. The second one, actually, we were second in Africa in bringing that to the global team. We have developed our national climate change action plan, and one of the areas we are looking at is green transition and clean cooking. So we work with the Ministry of Energy to support them in developing the climate action plan that is transitioning to clean cooking. We've been able to reach out to multiple partners who support us in financing, including GCF, GEF, IUCN, among others. GCF was able to support us, and the resources will be used to transition most of our schools into clean cooking. But far beyond that, we have our carbon markets. We have our designated national authority when it comes to the carbon space. A lot of these projects are in clean cooking, and we are also encouraging the project developers in matters clean cooking, even as we look to the hard to abate projects as a country. So many of them have registered, so we can really confidently say that Kenya is moving into clean cooking. Additionally, IUCN has had technologies in Kajiado, demonstration centers, to support even homesteads in matters of clean cooking, institutions, and technology. But what I request, because this is a huge topic and it needs for us to work together with the Ministry of Environment, we request for more time to give you a comprehensive, consolidated report how Kenya is really transitioning into clean cooking. So thank you. The last question was on avocado, processing and organic waste. Kenya waste is predominantly organic waste, and we take this seriously as the ministry and as NEMA. And NEMA has licensed facilities to treat organic waste. What we are currently encouraging the governors is to really look at circular economy, because waste management is devolved. And seeing how we can partner, we can coordinate to improve the waste management and circular economy. And you can see what is going on currently in Nairobi, where we are addressing the concerns in a Dandora site. Predominantly, it's organic waste that needs to be addressed, and really that can produce, whether it's waste to energy, whether it's fertilizers, and that, again, is really bringing money into the pockets of Kenyans. So we are working. We have supported in terms of the technical, the legislative component. Now, when it comes to implementation, we are continuing to license to ensure that we are addressing organic waste, including the avocado waste. So I think those are the questions. Thank you.
There was an issue raised by Senator Kenyuri on the polythene bags.
Yes, yes. So for polythene bags, we continue with the banning. We take note of the concerns and enforcement. We will really ensure that we are strengthening the enforcement. But let us remember, far beyond the plastic bags, we even have the plastic bottles and other plastic wastes. That is why we had to work on the extended producer responsibility, which was passed. And this looks at how we can work with the polluters to ensure that they are paying principal, to ensure that the resources they are having is going back to address the waste that is being produced, yeah? What the manufacturers are producing. And as I said, it looks at the whole life cycle. So the EPR is really the way to go. It is all about creating jobs for the waste pickers, for the aggregators, for the transporters, and for safe. Chain will be able to get resources. And this is because the polluters will pay principal and the resources are going to be used in waste management. So we are creating jobs, we are recycling, and this is coming all up into the circular economy space.
Are you not satisfied with the response? Yeah, just do a clarification very fast, then we give other members
Actually,
an
Speaker,
opportunity.
I wanted your help because you know you are an elder. Perhaps you can translate to me what the CS has said in regards to the transition in schools from firewood cooking to clean energy. Because an answer like the one she has given has left me more confused as to where we are with that program. What I expected, Honorable Speaker, is to be told we have X number of public schools that use firewood to cook. We have received a certain amount of money. This is the total budget. We have done 10% of the schools. The program will run for 6 months. We expect to be completed before the elections. I mean, that is an answer. But whatever rumblings that have come from the Speaker, from the CS, have left me more confused.
Okay.
I don't know what the answer was.
Okay, so, Madam CS, that issue on the cooking stoves, I heard you say comment about the policy that you want to implement, and you requested for more time to submit that to this House, isn't it? Yes. But can you maybe comment directly on Lavington girls, because that is the issue.
Yes, Your Excellency, as I had said earlier, we request more time. Why? Because, first of all, the implementer is the Ministry of Energy. For us, we give the policy. It's green transition. Number two, we need real-time data where we are currently. We need to map out, we need to talk to the officers so that we're able to map out and give the tangible data where we are in terms of transitioning. That is why I have requested, and you know it's also working with the Ministry of Education in the schools, working with the Ministry of Energy, and then ourselves. So if you can give us ample time, 2 weeks is adequate, we'll give you a substantive answer.
Senator Sifuna, I think now you are comfortable with that response. Yes. Okay. Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to ask a question. Honorable Speaker, I listened very carefully when the CS responded to the question by Senator Hamida. And Honorable Speaker, as an expert, you say you're an expert in this. I think you are an expert in this. I think what the CS did was just to repeat what the laws and regulations say. The CS did not respond to the real issues about the levels of pollution in this country. Honorable Speaker, I would want to ask whether when last the NEMA engaged with the industries that are polluting our water resources around Western Kenya. Let me pick that. But let me not just pick Western Kenya. If you walk around Nairobi River, it is black. Lake Victoria is so polluted. River Maji Masafi in Kibos is so polluted. And yet it's called the Maji Masafi by Kibos Sugar Company. All our sugar companies are polluting the rivers next to them. They dump bagasse everywhere. And you don't need to be an environmental expert to see this. It can be seen with the naked eye. When last did the CS get a report on what is being done about pollution by all these? If we can answer even for the sugar industries alone, where bagasse is all over, methane pollution is everywhere. Can you really tell us that those beautiful regulations you are reading, which we know are very good because some of them were made here. In fact, the law was made here. The regulations were ratified from this house. Our question is how you are implementing them. Don't tell us how good they are.
Senator Mugatana.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Minister for the very elaborate answer that he has given this morning. Mr. Speaker, my question is on enforcement. The Minister has told us in financial year 2024-2025, 5 people were arrested and prosecuted for violations in regard to illegal release into effluent, into our rivers. She has also said that 2 facilities were issued with closure orders. Mr. Speaker, this is what Kenyans want to hear. What action are you taking as a minister? Mr. Speaker, the people of Tana River today are suffering because there is gypsum mining. And Mr. Speaker, when the gypsum is mined in open pit, it is left like that. There is serious environmental degradation. When did she last send inspectors to go and arrest and prosecute the violators of environmental degradation? Mr. Speaker, Kenyans know police officers because if you mess, they will pick you up. Kenyans know the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. If you mess, you're setting up your illegal pharmacy, they will pick you up. But who are these MCA enforcement officers? Who are the Environmental Management Coordination Act enforcement officers? We want them to visit Tana River. Mr. Speaker, those open pits of gypsum in Charidende, in Bilbil, in Bangale, those open, they are killing animals, they are killing people, and nothing is happening. When are you going to send enforcement officers like the Pharmacy and Poisons Board to arrest people and prosecute them? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Manzo.
Mr. Speaker, could the CS explain the status of cleaning up Nairobi River, bearing in mind this is a river which goes to River Athi and all the way to Malindi, and that this is the river we are about to dam, Thwake Dam, which is expected to give water supplies to Kitui County, Makueni County, Machakos County, and Kajiado, and even Konza City. What is the status of cleanness of that river?
Senator Eonda Bonikarwale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Environment is missing in Kisumu County and Kakamega County. Could the minister make an undertaking that she is going to immediately, possibly tomorrow, dispatch her team from Nairobi to go and see for herself how raw sewage at Ahero town is released into River Nyando, and see for herself how raw sewage is splashing in the city center of Kakamega town. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Okoiti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And thank you, CS, for your response. I would like to comment on the report that's at number I of the report, the environmental and social impact assessment process. The CS has referred to Section 58 of the MCA, which requires that the ESIA process take precedence over any other regulatory process and be completed before any project commences. As part of this process, and so forth. Now, Mr. Speaker, I would request the attention of the Minister, because she's discussing and I'm talking. So my question is the Cabinet Secretary, in preparing this place, because I have quashed very many ESIA reports in court because they have been found to be fictitious, the latest being the one for the affordable housing project in Langata. And Mr. Speaker, in my interrogation with that, I came to see that there could be a problem with Section 58, Clause 2. I'm laying the ground for my question. So my question is,
Senator Mtata, time to. I told you this is science. It's not other things. Just ask your question, Senator Okio Mtata.
Section 58, Clause 2. You quoted Section 58. Clause 2 provides that a project proponent will hire a NEMA-approved consultant, expert to do an environmental assessment and then make a report. That section, by ceding the regulatory authority back to the person being oversighted, does it create a problem in your experience? Because if I'm paying the person doing the oversight, who is going to write the EISA report on a project, does that person remain a regulator, or does he become my consultant? And if that's the case, how does the regulatory authority enforce the NEMA requirements through a third party who is hired by the person being oversighted, paid by the person being oversighted, to write a report regulating the person paying that person? I want to understand that, because there's a major problem with the NEMA, and as it was observed earlier by Senator Wambua, that the NEMA is a problem.
Have you asked your question?
So
So that is enough, because you're asking why, who should do the reports.
Yes, I've asked, have you looked at section 58, clause 2? I was just elaborating for the benefit of the House, because I've had the chance to read the section, and maybe the members have not read the section. So I wanted just for the benefit of the House to bring it out, so that does that section cause a problem in terms of NEMA regulating developers? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
And members kindly just go straight to the question, because I have still several senators queuing here, and also time is not with us. We have done almost 1.5 hours with the CS.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my question to the Cabinet Secretary is, what are you doing to enforce the release of raw sewer into Nairobi Dam? All the estates around Nairobi Dam, when it rains, that is the time to release raw waste into that Nairobi Dam. What are you doing to enforce the stoppage of release of raw sewer to Nairobi Dam?
Actually, these questions are almost related, so maybe let's get another one, Senator Mudama.
Thank you, Speaker, for this opportunity. Mine is just to inquire from the CS about Athi River, which runs to Mwala and Athi River. It is so polluted. All the factories in Mavoko, they direct every garbage there. And especially Mwala, those people are planting vegetables through that water, and we are having a lot of cancer due to this pollution in the rivers. Also at the river, many of the nearby people are planting their vegetables, sukuma wiki, name it, spinach that we eat here in Nairobi, and tomatoes. And this is causing a lot of damage to our people. What are you doing to release people to go and check those factories through NEMA? NEMA is doing nothing. You have to be on NEMA very seriously. And I want, Madam CS, you deal with the Athi River kindly, and especially going to Mwala, and even the one going to Kinamanzo's place, Thwake Dam. Thank you.
Senator Joyce Colil.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to congratulate the CS for the efforts that he has put in the Ministry of Environment in terms of making sure that the state sector works despite the challenges that have been inherited from the previous governments, Honorable Speaker. The only question that I have is that a number of tea farmers have been complaining because of the effluents that are being discharged to their rivers. And I know before they are licensed, or the factories are licensed, they must comply with some regulations. I would also want to know whether the CS normally checks on the treatment of the state factories before the effluents are discharged to the state rivers. Thank you.
Okay, proceed and give responses, Madam CS.
Thank you.
Then we do the last round.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. Let me first say that indeed I take this with a lot of passion, coming from the background and the impact it has in public health. Secondly, is that when I came into office, I ensured that we have quarterly meetings with NEMA. Last, I think it was 2 months ago, we conducted assessment along the Athi River. We were able to map out They did their first assessment and they talked to the companies, and I joined them the second time round. This is really because we really need to address this issue. And you can see that in this last quarter, what was done by the previous administration in 1 year, we've been able to do that or double that in 1 quarter. In terms of assessing, in terms of reports, we had 405 illegal discharges that were stopped and identified and stopped, and 197 during this quarter. That is because we take it seriously. But even as we take it seriously, there are 2 things we are looking at. Industrialization, even as we protect our environment. So, as I had said earlier, restoration comes before closure and before prosecution. So we are giving improvement orders. We are giving timelines that after so and so, depending on what we have found. Like I can give an example where we went to one of the sites. What we instructed them is to do water quality monitoring in 3 months' time and see if they still discharge within the effluent or the effluent has been treated. So we have tangible evidence if there is discharge. And then secondly, we are monitoring, even from my office, to ensure that enforcement is going on, improvement orders are being executed by the various companies and industries, and restoration order so that they go into the pre-pollution state. If that doesn't work, then now we come to closure, because we are encouraging Kenyans that we build on the industries, we also ensure that Kenyans are having something in their pockets, but we protect our environment and restore. So for Athi River, we are doing that, and I will continuously monitor with them around the country, even as they share the reports. As I had said, we have a dashboard of which I am very happy to come and share with you. On what we are doing on water quality monitoring and air quality monitoring by these industries. That way, we can be able to see who is above the threshold that is needed, that can be damaging to the health of Kenyans. And from that report, we can now move and support them in their improvement, in their restoration. If that doesn't occur, now we move to closure and prosecution. So we have taken it up seriously, and we will be able to share even detailed reports that will be shared in our website to show Kenyans that water quality, air quality monitoring reports must be doubled every quarter so that the impact is felt, and we are restoring our environment even as we look at industrialization. The question with regards to, from Senator Mkatana about NEMA, yes, we are collaborating with the county commissioners to establish the multi-agency team to enforce on gypsum, and we definitely will be visiting your county and the coastal county to assess the impact within that region. It's long overdue. We were supposed to go there, but because of some conflicting issues, but we can assure you we will go and assess and give a comprehensive report on that. For enforcement, as I said, we are not much on closure and prosecution. We want to help restore. We want restoration orders. We want improvement orders to the companies. So we are working with Kibos Sugar, Mara Sugar, that have been issued with the restoration orders. We have given them timelines. We will be visiting to ensure that they are implementing and ensure that the effluent that is being discharged is treated. I take note also about the concern raised with regards to the conflict of interest, NEMA as a regulator, and then again issuing the ESIA through consultancy. We have experts in the environment. They are the ones who write the NEMA, the reviews, and make decisions. So the EIA process is open, it's transparent, it's evidence-based, and it's followed up by technical experts. So we believe that they are well capacitated to address and look at and conduct their EIA in a free and fair manner. The question on Senator Mandago, yes, we take note on the sewer networks. They are being expanded. It cannot be done overnight. You can see the time that Nairobi restoration it has taken. We conducted mapping. We saw who are discharging effluent. We were able to close them, and then now we are now cleaning up the Nairobi River. And you can see how many years and how much it has taken. So we will continue working extensively to ensure that we are restoring, again, see where resources allow how we can restore, and also support us, maybe through the National Infrastructure Fund. We can also look and ensure that restoration is occurring, because as we have this infrastructural development, industrialization, then the environment also has to be protected. So those are things that we are really advocating for, so that the ministry can be able to receive resources to support in those aspects. Yes, for Senator Muthama, yes, expansion of the treatment facilities is occurring in Kinanie and Machakos. Okay, that's the report. So I think those are the questions that have been raised. That one we are there because I was there. We started from the area of Mlolongo going down. So I was there, and we will continue assessing. So they give me reports routinely, and where they have challenges with the industries, then we go.
Senator Mudama, you know that is not how we conduct our business in this House. And Madam CS, don't respond to the members without my authority.
Thank you, Senator.
Otherwise, you'll be out of order yourself, even though you are on the other side.
That's fine.
Which questions have not been responded to? Senator, you know, she has addressed her deliver. Because that your question and the question, Madama, is the same about the river pollution. She has addressed that. The issue is the sugar factories, the effluent being discharged to the rivers by the sugar factories, and the tea factories in Bomet and Kericho. Yours has been answered too. You didn't reason about the experts. She has addressed that matter. You know, your technical team should be able to assist you with the questions, registering questions so that you don't do to and fro. It's just at the river, Kakamega, Bomet, Kericho, the tea factories, and the sugar factories, the discharge of effluent into the rivers.
Yes, so all of them have been mapped, and I have talked to my technical team. Restoration orders have been given. So we'll be able to highlight those ones which are highly discharging effluent, and we'll visit the sites. I can assure you I will visit them personally, but the team has been deployed to conduct assessment and support. They have given restoration orders. They have given them an implementation timeline. They will go back to review to ensure that they are adhering and the treated effluent is what is being discharged. If there are challenges, then now we will move to closure. So we have mapped out, and we will be able to share that even in our dashboard on what we are doing in terms of monitoring, where we have visited. Yes, thank you.
I think, Madam CS, what members are asking You know, from the just have your seat. You know, from the headquarters, you cannot do much. You have county offices across the country. So I think there is nothing much they are doing to monitor what is happening in the counties. That is why members are talking about Kakamega, Bomet, Kericho, about Meru, about Bungoma, because now your team is not working well, and maybe you didn't need to coordinate your NEMA team better. Senator Onyonka.
Mr. Speaker, I've never seen parliamentary procedure where I would, as I'm making my contribution, give the CS information on a matter that is very sensitive to me and Madam Muma, and then ask my question, if you can allow me to do that. The information I wanted to give her is that if she was to go to the Kenya Sugar Board and look at the reports which have been written for the last 40 years on what was supposed to happen to Bagasse, Mr. Speaker, her Minister for Industry would be very happy, because Bagasse was meant from the sugar factories so that it can be consolidated and made into block boards. But when the sugar factory started, all the economic activities collapsed. So I would like to suggest to the Minister that she can actually check with our Ministry of Industry and look at the Kenya Sugar Board. They will tell her what Bagasse was meant to do. And that's why we have so much of it, polluting, and yet it can be converted into block boards and timber materials which can be used for construction. My question, Mr. Speaker, is to ask the Minister that on several occasions as Senator of Kisii County, I have raised issues about trees being felled and being cut in Kisii, Homa Bay, South Nyanza, Uasin Gishu, and many other counties in this republic. I would like, Mr. Speaker, to ask her whether she's aware that there was an environmental assessment study which was done, and whether there was this information that was gathered that would make sure, because previously, Mr. Speaker, when trees were cut anywhere, whether you look at Kinungi, you go to Elgon, the trees were always cut, but there was always transplanting. But you see what has happened, Mr. Speaker, is that all these areas, if you go to a place called Ringa, there's a place in Kisii called Mwata, the trees have been cut and there is no replanting of these trees. I don't know whether the Minister is aware what the implication of this would be. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Okwabubi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I'd like to appreciate the CS for the introspective responses. However, I would like to pose a question to the CS and her technical team. If she has got any strategies of visiting Bungoma County and other counties to look into their CIDPs and climate action plans. Asking this with reference to Bungoma County to look at the River Nzoia pollution that has got very heavy pollution, industrial discharge, that makes its environs like Webuye being inhabitable, and even the water not good enough to be used for domestic purposes. Then the CS should also look into Bungoma town CBD sewage system, which to me is has a total rot, because when it has rained and there are floods, we tend to have some overflowing water with a lot of litter all over. There is a lot of stench, and also to visit and check on the dump sites and other municipal sites. For instance, we have a dump site in Bumula called the Lumoru dump site. So you need to look at that and look at the waste leaching into our rivers. Finally, I want you to look at the massive deforestation in Mount Elgon that has left a lot of springs, dams, rivers.
Senator Okwabubi, you will ask only one question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well
and
guided.
I think you deal for Bungoma.
Asante sana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mwaruma.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to ask my supplementary question. My question is on the regulation on trade of carbon credit. In 2023, we passed the Climate Change Amendment Bill of 2016, and the main objective was to regulate and have a revenue sharing basis for the proceeds of sale of carbon credit. You know, most of the carbon credit is sold in a ward called Kasigau in Taita Taveta. Now, we left the basis to regulations. What I would be wanting to know from the CS is how far the regulations or the CS has gone into formulating the regulations to give a way or a basis for revenue sharing on proceeds of carbon credit trade. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, my question to the CS is with regards to pollution in Lake Victoria as a result of cagefish farming. Mr. Speaker, the ministry through NEMA is involved in licensing of cagefish farmers in Lake Victoria. NEMA issues an environmental and social impact assessment, does environmental and social impact assessments, does the site suitability reviews, does continuous monitoring, and does the EIA, environmental impact assessment. Despite that technical involvement of NEMA, Mr. Speaker, cagefish farming in Lake Victoria has contributed to an increase in pollution. It is visible, you can see it, you can smell it. Areas where some cages are, the lake is turning green. The lake is becoming a bit stinky. Mr. Speaker, despite the technical involvement of the ministry, you are still having conflict with local communities between the cagefish farmers and the indigenous communities. And Mr. Speaker, a few years ago, some lives were lost in Sindo. You are still having blockage of traditional fishing sites and trading routes, Mr. Speaker. Ngode, an island on Lake Victoria, there are some fishing sites that have been blocked as a result of cagefish farming. We are still having a disruption of tourism facilities, where you find cages have been placed right opposite beautiful hotels, and yet the ministry was involved in site suitability assessment. Mr. Speaker, you are still having pollution, as I've said. Can the Cabinet Secretary commit to this House that she will bring a report or she will undertake an impact assessment on pollution in Lake Victoria and take proactive measures to ensure that cagefish farming does not become another environmental disaster and that we do not prioritize the economic benefits, the tariffs and licenses that they are collecting over our environment? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Abbas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the Minister that in northern Kenya, especially in Garissa and part of Wajir, is hosting a very large number of refugees for many years. And there has been a lot of deforestation as it's taken place. And the organization responsible for refugees, the UNHCR, is not doing much of interventions. In the past, they used to have some cooking gases and these things. But of course, at the rate at which we are the trees are being cleared as a cooking energy, a source of energy, is actually causing a desertification in that area. I'm asking the Minister whether there's any plan in those areas to do afforestation or at least look for as an alternative source of energy for the refugees, because the refugees are just increasing by the number, and there's a lot of deforestation taking place. So, what is the plan from the ministry and UNHCR to stop any more cutting of trees in those areas? Thank you.
Senator Lecha Julius.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My question goes to the Minister for Environment. She has teams in counties, which includes West Pokot. But for some reason, her NEMA team is compromised totally Like there is mining going on in Laminyeusi in West Pokot and Kambikaraya and Takwel and many other places. Now her team does not effectively make sure that the washing of trucks do not take soil taken out of the mining area and clear it or clean it in the rivers. There is river Muruny is terribly polluted, and even Takwel is just terrible. So what can she do, or how can she effect or make her team in counties effective? Because they are just totally compromised. In fact, they are getting a lot of money exchange so that they are not doing their work effectively. Thank you.
Senator Seki.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My question also goes to the CS and request to know the mechanism the ministry is putting to mitigate the pollution of industrial pollution in Kajiado, where a number of industries have polluted the environment through the Namanga, the Kajiado, Nairobi-Namanga route. We have a number of industries, and they have polluted the environment to an extent where the environment, even the habitation of grass, trees have dried up. This matter we have mentioned, I've written to the ministry, and there is no outcomes on that area. And we have quite a number of problems within the area. The community is really they're having a big problem on that matter. There is a lot of problem. People are getting sick every other day. We have been having issues of cattle taking water through on water that has been contaminated by flower farms in Isinya River, where there is a small river that is seasonal within that area. We've been having cattle dying over that, and the community have made a lot of problems and even requests and recommendations that this industry must be taken into consideration. So I want to know what is the measures the ministry has taken, yet we have done a number of follow-ups, personally as a senator, and we have there's no outcomes coming in. So we need to have an answer, and people of Kajiado need to have an answer towards that.
Senator Shakira.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question to the minister is, one of her responsibilities as a ministry is public awareness. As we are all aware, there is a big project of refinery coming to Lamu. What measures has the ministry put in place to educate the public on the issues of environment, and also to work with the county on the environmental impact and create awareness on the coming project, so that people will support that project and learn about the project and get to know more about it? Because we don't want to be caught unaware, and we don't want the people to go against the project because they were not educated on it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Last but not the least, the chair handling the environment docket in the Senate, Senator Mwinyi Mohammed Faki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. First of all, I wanted to commend the CS for her attendance and the responses she has given. However, as members have suggested, there's still a lot to be done, Madam CS. And some of the issues that have been raised are quite substantive. I wanted to comment, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to comment on the issue of conversion of the school kitchens to eco-friendly or energy, green energy kitchens. Mr. Speaker, sir, last week we had an engagement in a dialogue in Kisumu, and we were able to visit a school called Nyawara Girls High School in Game constituency of Siaya County. And they already converted their kitchen, although partly, and they are using green energy, that is electricity. Although they are yet to maybe install solar so that it becomes fully green. One of our resolutions, which we are pursuing with our colleagues in the climate forum, is that already there are some facilities which have been created. For instance, KCB has a facility charging an interest of 9%, I think, 9.8% for the schools that want to buy solar equipment to be able to solarize their kitchens. And again, we as the Climate Change Forum is also negotiating together with the Climate Fund, where we are going to get funding so that the school kitchens will be converted to energy, clean energy kitchens, so that all our schools in the country are able to do that. I think it will be done in collaboration with the NGCDF, together with the Kenya Rural Electrification and the donor funding. But this maybe will be going to the constituencies and will be done by the members of parliament, because they are more or less in control of the schools. However, our counties also need to tap in on this Nobel project, so that we are able to do this throughout the country. Number two, on my question, Honorable Speaker, the issue of now we have seen upscaling of EVs, electric vehicles, which use lithium batteries. From electric vehicles, we also have tuk-tuks, which are using electricity. We also have motorbikes that are also using electricity. The issue is the disposal of the lithium batteries. We know these are much more lethal than the lead batteries that have also caused a lot of damage. And I appreciate Senator Esi inquiring about the compensation of the people of Uhuru in Mombasa County, who are affected by the pollution of lead batteries in their vicinity. So, Mr. Speaker, maybe the CS could tell us what efforts are being made to ensure that the disposal of these lithium batteries will not be harmful to the environment. Thank you.
Okay. And you can give response to those questions, and then we conclude your submissions.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yes, I think Senator Onyonka said clearly about the biogas is a resource for energy, indeed, and factories are sustainably using biogas for making briquettes, but also what we talked about, the blocks, block boards, etc., as well as organic fertilizers. So I wanted to highlight about the 15 billion tree growing, and we are happy to even share more as a ministry on what we are doing. You'll take note about our key achievements in the 15 billion. Kenya is going green. Kenya is going green. And this is not just by counting the number of trees, because we know people can cook that. Just look at your satellite images. When you look at other countries, our neighbors, Africa, Kenya is indeed going green. and we are one of the top countries when it comes to restoration. So a lot is ongoing in terms of tree growing, and that is first because of your support. We had the Forest Conservation Management Act, which is now law, and one of the concerns that was addressed is cutting, ensuring that when you cut a tree, then replanting takes place. But far beyond that, we are having interventions to ensure that we are meeting our 15 billion target, or 1.5 billion in a year. This shows that in the previous administration, what the previous administration was able to do in 5 years, we have surpassed and done that 3 times. We have done that 3 times in the last 3 years, you see? So every year, we are doing what the last administration had done in 5 years. So we continue with restoration, and we continue working together with the Kenya Forest Service to ensure that we are restoring, but also a whole of government approach. The next question was regarding Bungoma and the climate action plans, as well as the issues of waste management. A highlight to this is that waste management is devolved, which again poses a challenge in terms of ensuring that the ministry exhaustively meets. So what we do is we have an intergovernmental framework, we support the county government, and we really need your oversight to ensure that we are managing the waste well. But as has been said clearly, we have the regulations in place to support us in those aspects. And we have taken note of that, and we will be sending a team to go and conduct assessment and see how to enforce in Bungoma. So for Mount Elgon, yes, we take note of the deforestation that has occurred, and definitely we are working on that. We'll be launching one of the plans on restoration of Mount Elgon, because it is not only a transboundary ecosystem. It's rich in biodiversity, the monkeys, like the colobus monkey, the elephants. It is a water tower. It is a transboundary, and it has a peace-building initiative attached to it. And far beyond that, we need to restore it. So those discussions are ongoing within the ministry. We've been able to identify one of the patrons who comes from that community in the public office, and they will be supporting us to ensure that we are restoring. And that is one of the sites that we will be restoring during the Mazingira Day. Key activities being aerial seeding, manual planting with the community, and also seeing the issue of fencing, but accessibility of the community into once in a while into the forest, so that they can also have beekeeping among other activities, and they can also now improve their livelihoods. So we take note, and it is indeed in our radar to ensure that we are restoring. So the issue on carbon credits, we are happy to report that a lot of regulations have been passed, the recent one being the carbon markets regulation. The only one remaining is the non-markets. I just signed guidelines to support the community, improve public awareness and community awareness. And a lot will be ongoing. Partners have reached out even to support us, and as a ministry, we'll ensure we have resources to support this. Some of the projects that will be coming in, like the green zone, which we hope will be passed, will be looking at capacitating communities to understand carbon markets. This is because they are entitled to 40% of that money. And if they don't know, someone else will take advantage. So a lot of public awareness is coming. What we wanted to do is to ensure we have the regulations, then we move to the next point. And so the projects are on through the DNA. We've had multiple projects, and we are encouraging community engagement, and the communities benefit from carbon markets. So for Lake Victoria, Senator Kajwang, we take note. We will bring the report on the EIA on pollution in Lake Victoria and have proactive measures. We have really been looking at how we can support, even through the various agencies like Lake Victoria Basin, among others. As a ministry, we have been able to receive some resources which we will be able to support. And it's one of the projects that is in the radar because Lake Victoria is really a key ecosystem, a transboundary ecosystem, and also a source of livelihoods for many within the region. So we can assure you we'll have the report ready, and we also are allocating resources to support in its restoration. The other question was yes, this was a wonderful question, Senator Abbas, on what we are doing in the Asal region. I'm happy to report that we have been able to receive some resources from World Bank. It's called the KenyaScoop project. And the Asal region will really benefit from this. So we are looking at restoration, we are looking at improving livelihoods, and also other environmental conservation initiatives. So you will see us a lot, and I hope you'll be there also present to support us, even as we restore the Asal regions in Kenya. For electric vehicles, yes, Senator Faki, lithium is indeed a toxic substance that is not good for our people and not good for our environment. And we are happy to report from the EPR, when you look at the EPR, hazardous waste has been looked into. We are working with the PROs, and we said for hazardous waste, it will be for any waste picker who identifies the hazardous waste, they'll be paid 20 shillings per kilogram. So we are encouraging and incentivizing waste pickers and Kenyans to bring these hazardous waste like the lithium products, and then we can manage within the community. So we'll create awareness and use the EPR, but also we have the regulations, definitely, including the chemicals regulation. Also the safe disposal has been addressed within the guidelines of the ministry. Yes, and the question on public participation, yes, we have adequately engaged on public participation, and thank you so much for highlighting what has been done in the clean cooking space. However, we still request for more time to consolidate everything because it's a multi-agency implementation strategy led by the Ministry of Energy. So I think we have been able to answer all the questions, and for Kajiado, we have also mapped out, and we will send people there to address those issues and enforce in terms of ensuring our environment is safe. The refinery, yes, we take note of that, and we'll be working. You know, the lead ministry is the Ministry of Energy, but NEMA will work with them to ensure that we are creating public awareness. Definitely EIA must be done, and also ensure that implementation is seamless, even as we look at a safe, healthy, and clean environment, so that our people are not affected. Thank you.
So that was the end of the session with the CS. Thank you, Madam CS, for creating time to appear before the Senate. The commitments that you have made, make sure that you furnish the Office of the Clerk with the information that you have committed to do. So thank you very much, and continue. You see, environment as a challenge, so continue. The issue is the inspections and how you are able to make sure that whatever is happening is monitored in the industry, and also, you know, the counties, how also you work with the counties, especially in solid waste management. You, the national government, will come up with clear policies, because the whole country is polluted. There is no county which is clean. Even though this is a devolved function, how can the national government intervene to ensure that there is no pollution in the counties? So thank you very much. I hope you have captured all the issues that members have raised. Okay. So clerk, next order.
Order number 8, motion, mainstreaming of a framework for clean cooking in Kenya.
Senator Minda Kibwana has requested that this business be rescheduled to another day. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, provision of the IFMIS reports for county governments to the Senate.
Senator Andrew Omtata Okoiti, are you ready to move your motion? Please go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to move a motion on the provision of IFMIS reports for county governments to the Senate. That, aware that Article 96 of the Constitution provides that the Senate represents the counties and serves to protect their interests, determines the allocation of national revenue among counties as provided in Article 217, and exercises oversight over national revenue allocated to the county governments. Further, aware that in the case of Senate versus Council of Governors and 6 others, that is petition number 24 and 27 of 2019, consolidated 2022 brackets KESC 57 KLR, the Supreme Court affirmed that the Senate's oversight authority extends to both nationally allocated and locally generated revenue. Concerned that senators are constrained by lack of access to real-time data from the IFMIS system for the respective counties they represent, thus affecting effective oversight of county governments. Further concerned that, in some instances, data and information presented to the Senate by the Auditor General and the Control of Budget are received and considered late as a result of the backlog, resulting into too much information not getting properly reviewed by the senators. Noting that, as a result of unchecked financial information and systems, county governments have continued to accumulate pending bills resulting from unplanned expenditures, unaccounted for and inflated costs of projects. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the National Treasury shall on a monthly basis forward to the Clerk of the Senate all IFMIS transactions and reports for each county government for onward transmission to the respective senator for information on accountability and transparency in order to strengthen their constitutional oversight and promote good governance in the management of public finances. Mr. Speaker, sir, this motion is intended to cure a very, very important problem on the ground, whereby you have a budget that is passed by the county assembly, signed into law by the governor, and then implemented by the governor. And then at that point, everybody goes blind. Only the governor and these people know what is happening. Payments are effected, contracts are done, payments are made, but you don't know what has been paid for. Nobody knows what has been paid for. If you go to the control of budget, the control of budget tells you they do not even have read-only access to the IFMIS payments. The IFMIS payments have become extremely opaque, and a lot of mischief then takes place, Mr. Speaker. You have got the questions of procurements being voided, and procurements which have not been approved through the system being carried out and paid for, and the genuine procurements remain unpaid, and they graduate what we are being called pending bills. Ideally, Mr. Speaker, a senator of a county, representing a county, should be able to look at the financial transactions of that county in almost real time to know which projects are being paid for. And once you know that a project A has been paid for, you can go ahead and look out in the budget and say, okay, what's the status of this? Does the status of the project on the ground? Is it commensurate with what is being paid for? Without that, Mr. Speaker, you end up encountering projects being done. You don't know at what level they are. You don't know what certificates have been issued. You don't know whether they have been paid for or not. You don't know whether they have stalled. And the county then just is at the mercy of the governor and his people. So this motion is intended to remove that opaqueness and give the Senate, through the Senate, individual senators of individual counties, from where they come from, to have a possibility or the capacity to see what the county governor and this administration have paid for. After the procurement is done, then you can hold a budget in one hand and hold the IFMIS reports in the other hand and compare and know what is happening. Otherwise, we are totally constrained, Mr. Speaker, when you go to the ground and you do not have a starting point. You get people complaining, you have no starting point. The county assemblies have already passed the budget. The governor is implementing the budget in a manner that is not transparent. And you who is supposed to do the oversight are left there gazing what might have happened. These documents, Mr. Speaker, should be available. They don't qualify. The IFMIS does not qualify for the documents which are not supposed to be disclosed under the under the Access to Information Act. The Access to Information Act clearly has a category of the kind of information that should not be disclosed. It does not go to the point whereby the IFMIS payments which have been paid out are kept secret. And yet we live in a world whereby when you go to the Public Finance Management Act, it requires that all contracts be published. So the contract, you are doing a contract in a village, you are building a road, let us know at what stage the road is, that has been paid for this road. Let us know what is being paid for. And that way, Mr. Speaker, we'll be able to understand the extent to which the budget is being implemented, and we'll also be able to question these things called pending bills. Mr. Speaker, if we don't do that, we are going to end up in a situation whereby we fight here, we send money to the counties, and then we don't know how the money is being utilized. We have a responsibility to follow that money, to look at how it is being used, and not to do it in a manner that you are depending on hearsay, that somebody is telling you, do you know this has happened, do you know that has happened? Then you end up sometimes not being able to perform effectively, but we shall be able to do a scientific oversight of the governors. We'll be able to say, this item has been paid for. Where on the ground is it? This item was budgeted for so much. How come it has been split and paid several times? This procurement was approved. Why was it voided in the system? And if it was voided, where is the money? If senators can have that capacity to have these reports in the manner requested in the motion, will be able to check the utilization of funds in the counties. Otherwise, we are left running around, not knowing what has happened. Even if you go to a project, Mr. Speaker, on the ground, and you find that the project has not been completed, you have got no capacity to tell whether that project has been paid for or not, what the problem is. But if we had access to the IFMIS records, the vote books and what have you, it will be very easy for us to get there and say that this particular item has been paid for, but has not been delivered. So the importance of having access to the payments that have been made by the county government to third parties is extremely important. It cannot be overstated. It speaks for itself, and especially for us who have got the obligation at the end of the day to tell the electorate, those who elected us, what the governor is doing in the county. This one is a motion that we should make sure is passed, and you make sure the motion is passed, and once it is passed, then we shall have the eyes. We shall be able to mulika mwizi, as they say in Swahili, to mulika mwizi. That mulika mwizi solution is the only thing that is going to save our counties from expenditure that is not explained, from theft of public funds, from procurement, from financing projects that have not been approved in the budget, and that will help us arrest the waste and abuse of public resources. So, Mr. Speaker, I really plead and pray that the members of this House consider this motion, approve it, and we pursue its implementation to ensure that oversight of county governments is done in a scientific manner, in a measurable manner, in a manner that we are able to.
Senator Omtata.
So, as I wind up, Mr. Speaker, sir, sorry, I just wanted to assist my brother, wanted to look at the motion. I think we don't have enough copies going around, so I'm sorry.
You remember, Senator Omtata, that we've gone digital, and the order paper as well as the motion is actually in the order paper.
Yeah, that we need a retreat maybe to learn how to use this system. You know, I used the old system, which was iPads. These people took us back to the beginning of computing.
You conclude.
So it became a problem.
Your counterpart already has the motion.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the guidance. So I plead with the House that we pass this motion so that we can be able to mulika mwizi on the ground, so that any money leaving the county treasury is known to the senator from that county in real time. And if there's any mischief being played, the senator can intervene and stop it. Otherwise, we are being treated like whatever you call those doctors pathologists who look at the dead bodies. Senators were never intended to come after the event and flail our hands and say, oh my God, this happened like this. We should be able to intervene in real time and check the governors. But we cannot do that when our eyes are closed. We must do that with the capacity to look at the IFMIS and say, this amount of money moved to this person the other day. What was being paid for? What has been done in the county? That way our people will benefit, the Senate will become effective, and the individual senators will not be held to unnecessary questions when they go to the ground and also look lost. So, Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I move the motion. Thank you. And I ask Senator Onyonka to second me. To second the motion, rather.
Senator Onyonga, the floor is yours.
Mr. Speaker, I would not have stood here to second a motion that has been brought by one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met, known as Mr. Okia Omtata. who has made some of us become accountants. Mr. Speaker, legal accountants. Mr. Speaker, I second this motion because we and many other individuals in this plenary have always said there are some gaps, there is something wrong with our software. The software we keep talking about, Mr. Speaker, is not for a mobile phone or software which is meant to be for a computer. It is the fact that if we do not have the software that is going to run our financials in such a manner that we have prudence, we have real-time explanation of how money is moving from one department to the other, how money is being paid to contractors, how money is being released to different government departments and county government departments. Then, Mr. Speaker, the truth is, all we ever do is whitewash the Auditor General's reports after the fact, after the money has been squandered, after the money has been transferred. And what we've been saying, Mr. Speaker, in this House is that we need prudence in the financial management services for our people, whether it's at the national government, whether it's at the county government, Mr. Speaker. We are not behaving responsibly. And therefore, I second this motion because I want my colleagues in this House to agree with us, and we persuade them that there are certain things we can do, and we cannot blame government all the time. And yet, Mr. Speaker, in reality, we have the capacity to change some things in this House. And that is why, according to me and many of the senators who are of good faith, this is not a political issue. It is not controversial. It's about our job is basically to oversight resources that are released as shareable revenue from the national government to the county governments. And yet, we are not having the capacity to oversight, to audit, or even to actually question some of the transactions which are going on in our county governments. Whether these transactions are pre-budget, whether it is post-budget, whether it is pre-procurement, everything looks like the whole system is actually leaking. And Mr. Speaker, I therefore would like to say I second this motion and I plead with my colleagues in this House that this is a low-lying fruit. We can actually squeeze the valves which are letting our funds to be misappropriated by unscrupulous people. Some governors are doing excellent work, but some of them are really doing shoddy work. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my elder brother, Okia Omtata, for an excellent motion. Thank you, sir.
Now, honorable senators, I proceed to propose the question that, aware that Article 96 of the Constitution provides that the Senate represents the counties and serves to protect their interests, determines the allocation of national revenue among counties as provided in Article 217, and exercises oversight over national revenue allocated to county governments. Further, aware that in the case of Senate versus the Council of Governors and 6 others, petition number 24 and 27 of 2019 consolidated in 2022 KESC 57 KLR, the Supreme Court affirmed that the Senate's oversight authority extends to both nationally allocated and locally generated revenue. Concerned that senators are constrained by lack of access to real-time data from the IFMIS system for the respective counties they represent, thus affecting effective oversight of county governments. Further, concerned that in some instances, data and information presented to the Senate by the Auditor General and the Controller of Budget are received and considered late as a result of the backlog, resulting into much information not getting properly reviewed by senators, noting that as a result of unchecked financial information and systems, county governments have continued to accumulate pending bills resulting from unplanned expenditures, unaccounted for, and inflated cost of projects. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the National Treasury shall on a monthly basis forward to the Clerk of the Senate all IFMIS transactions and reports for each county government for onward transmission to the respective senator for information on accountability and transparency in order to strengthen their constitutional oversight and promote good governance in the management of public finances. Honorable Senators, the motion is now available for your contributions, and I will invite Senator Monteti is not in the House, Senator Manzo to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute to this very important motion. Mr. Speaker, this had first come in as a request for statement, and I'm happy now it's become a motion. And the way this motion is framed is definitive. It's not like how motions are framed in Parliament. Previously, Mr. Speaker, motions used to be, drafted to say, we urge, the CS in case of Treasury. But this one is mandatory. That now that the CS of Treasury is using IFMIS in the procurement and in the transactions for every county, then it is easy if this information is forwarded to the clerk of the Senate, and eventually the clerk now forwards each individual county's operations and transactions on IFMIS and on record to respective senator. Mr. Speaker, when we do oversight, a lot of Kenyans are not aware of exactly what senators do. Mr. Speaker, we do our oversight on audited accounts, and when we invite a governor to come to the Senate, the auditor general is present, the one who audited that particular county in the regions, and also the counties have internal auditors. And then, most important, the controller of budget is there. Recently, I saw the controller of budget saying what counties have done low absorption of resources, but did not show up in the Senate to come and explain these utterances in the press, which sometimes give the wrong impression to the communities and to the counties we represent. And I'm looking forward to when the controller of budget is in the House, that she can explain this low absorption of funds and why. Because a lot of times the government announces that monies to the counties have been released. And then it takes another 3-4 months. And the financial cycle is within a year. So by the time procurement is done, you find that monies in that county have not yet been observed. We'll want monies in counties to be absorbed 100%. We don't want any coin to remain with the central bank or to remain unused, because the counties need roads. The roads are in pathetic situations. Counties need water supply. Counties need environmental management. Counties need medication in the hospitals. Counties need medical equipments like scanners, operational, because every other time you have a phone call from a resident of the county say that we have gone to the level 5 hospital, the scanners are not working, and have been sent to a private enterprise whereby I need 20,000 for treatment. And you see, as an individual senator, you are forced to assist this particular person. While these machines, which most of them are managed by the national government, and I like the way this motion is drafted, that we oversight the national government and the county government funds, and more important, where national government is doing account function, Mr. Speaker. We know that the national government has refused with a lot of health functions at the national level, the procurement of those equipments which should be monies devolved. We are aware that the monies for agriculture are not fully devolved. There are so many other activities hanging at the national level which should have gone to the counties, and we will be oversighting from there and making sure the counties are working. We are aware that the sector of environment, of which the minister has just left this place, a lot has to be done at the county levels that it has not done. Similarly with the water, even markets, they are being done. The work for the markets belongs to the counties. But individual members of National Assembly are the ones running with this project in the counties and abandoning the governor. I remember an incident in Kiambu when one of these markets was being launched and there was a fight and a young man was killed because the argument was who should be doing the markets. And the markets should be done by the counties. They are the ones who manage them. Similarly with many other projects. And therefore, it is important for every single transaction which takes place at the county level that the same information within that month be relayed to the respective senator to oversight and to check what has been done. And when we go on ground to be able to counter-check that the same projects have been done. Otherwise, we don't want to fall into a trap whereby for those governors, and quite a number of governors have trouble accounting for what has been sent to them. And quite a number of other governors have appeared before the Senate and have accounted for every coin. And they have answered questions that have been sent back, and they have come back to come and account and to the satisfaction of everyone. And while we sit in that committee, Mr. Speaker, I said the controller of budget is there, the auditor general is there, and more important, EACC. So that if EACC picks a certain thing going wrong in a certain county, they can be able to investigate and go forward. But I don't think that is sufficient. Even when those three sit there with us to help us oversight, there is a lot of compromising and compromises going on. You find that an investigation is never concluded, like the one of Kathwana, the headquarters of the Tharaka-Nithi County, has been delayed by investigations from EACC, which never complete. And therefore, the moment we've got the IFMIS transactions with us, then it is easier now, even to follow up with EACC, to follow up with the governor, to follow up with the county, and make sure that there is effective oversight to the county. A lot of citizens have misunderstood us to mean that, Mr. Speaker, that we go and do the primary oversight, which is the work of a county assembly member. It is wrong, really. Oversight is not going and abusing the governor in a public rally. I cannot go to vet a CEC in the county, and I should not be expected to do that. That's the work of the local assembly, and the county assembly should be able to do that, and many other things they should be able to ask and question the county government. They have powers to summon the CECs, and we have handled several impeachment motions here. If a governor is not performing and has breached the constitution and has done a few things the county assemblies are not happy with, they impeach, and then they bring to this chamber to confirm whether the impeachment was properly done or not. And if so, we go on, try the governor, and render a verdict. So, Mr. Speaker, while supporting this motion, I think it is important we need to come out strong, guns blazing in oversight, so that the counties will represent, know that we have fully done our job and we have fully accomplished and made sure that everything has been done in accordance with the law and the constitution. And that's why this motion is important. So that, Mr. Speaker, for every month, I should be able to go to the clerk, or the clerk should be able to forward to my office, and I can monitor and assess every single transaction the county government has conducted and what it was for and whether that particular job was properly done. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Senator Abbas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish also to contribute on this motion. Actually, this is a very, very important motion. As we enter the first phase of since devolution started, there has been a lot of problems in the counties in terms of financial management. And as the House that has honors to oversight the counties, we were unable to track county financial management and county use of resources as a result of, opaqueness in the whole process. Most of the counties don't even cooperate with the senators to at least know what is taking place in that country. According to the IFMIS, or the Integrated Financial Management Systems, actually this is a very, very important system that needs to be tracking whatever financial issues are taking place in the government, both the national government and the county government. Honorable Speaker, we have something called in the counties, if you look at the article, I think the 201 of the 2012, the project management, the BVM, the project, public finance management. There is something called Project Management Committee. This committee actually is supposed to be formed by every county. That this committee is actually has a responsibility to be involved in all plannings and commitments that are made, and they have a responsibility to see what kind of project is done within the counties. This actually engages the public, representatives, women, youth, leaders like the senators are supposed to be members of these committees. Of this committee of the project management. But however, the counties have avoided forming these project management committees in their respective counties. Specifically, the Speaker, the Senate is supposed to be actually a member of this committee. And that is the only way, by forming these committees, the BMC, that the Senator can be able to track and know how much money has been sent in the county and what kind of project has been done. And I think beside of having the IFMIS report, I think this House must compel that all counties must form the project management committees so that at least we can be able to monitor. Senators can be able to engage themselves and involve themselves in activities taking place in the counties. With this kind of avoiding the senators to be participating in whatever is doing and whatever is going in the counties, I think it will not be right for us to be the oversight, to have the oversight responsibility. But of course, we are not able to access all transactions that are taking place in the counties, projects that have been implemented. Honorable Speaker, if you go to the counties, there are so many stalled projects, so many. And that money, most of the money has been paid for it. And some of the money has not been paid. And what happened is actually every government comes in, starts his own project or her project. Most of the previous government's projects are stalled and it's never completed. I think this is actually very unfair. We are duplicating projects, we are using money, and most of the projects have been left stalled. And a huge amount of money is actually lost through obsolete structures that are not paid for. And this is the same government. The Republic of Kenya, the respective ministries, the respective counties, the money comes from a taxpayer. It is not the honors of the governor not to complete the project that has been started by another governor. But government is actually a continuing institution that a president comes and leaves the office, another comes, but the project still remains for the Kenyan people and for the taxpayers' money. This has been paid for. And therefore, what you have now, there are many projects that have not been paid. So, but with the help of if we could have the project management committees in the counties that are functional, then we can avoid this kind of business. Honorable Speaker, I think I agree with the sponsor of the motion that we need to have a copy or reports of financial finances that are taking place. We have the big the PAC committee and PIC. But of course, when you see what this committee is handling, it's actually most of the times history. That work that has been done or the finance committed into 3 years, 4 years ago. There's no up-to-date financial responsibilities being taken by the counties because we postpone the audit reports. You see, if now when we're having the CARA and the DORA, all that is based is actually on the 2021-22 financial, audit report of from the auditor control of auditors, the office of the auditor. So, if we have the information reports from the COB or from Treasury, this House will be able to manage that money that is being used, and we can be able to stop abuse of money and stall projects and these kind of businesses. Honorable Speaker, we need to have the information report as requested by the sponsor of this motion, and we need to form the project management committees so that the senators and the public representatives, including youth and women, that we can be able to know what kind of project has been done, where it has been done, how much money has been spent, and therefore we'll be able to at least hold responsible the various governors who believe that the county is their private businesses. And therefore, with those few remarks, I beg to support the motion.
Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for an opportunity to contribute to this motion. And I would like to congratulate Senator Umtata for bringing this issue. I think oversight is best done when everything is laid bare into the detail in order for us to be able to see what's happening. And as I support, I'm rising to just request that the motion be passed with an amendment for this reason. Senator Umtata, Honorable Chair, is known for bringing public interest litigation to align everything with the Constitution. But the last paragraph of his motion, in my view, focuses on the individual senator. In fact, he uses the word senator, and it may be interpreted that the Senate is made of 47 elected senators. As you are all aware, the oversight role of the Senate is provided for in Article 96. It's a collective role, and read together with Article 98, the oversight is to the Senate. So to request that the CS will be forwarding these reports to the individual senator, in my view, is a failure to recognize how the oversight role is done within the Senate. So I would request, Honorable Chair, that as the motion is passed, which it should, we should not allow it to pass with that tweak that is unconstitutional. The Senate oversight teams is largely currently done by the committees. So this information should be transmitted to the clerk for use by the Senate, not by a senator. So I would humbly request that we ensure that the motion complies with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Catherine Muma. Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, I want to rise to support this motion, Mr. Speaker, that the Senate resolves that the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the National Treasury shall, on monthly basis, forward to the Clerk of the Senate all IFMIS transactions and reports.
Senator Mungatana, just hold. Senator Joyce, I can see you are complaining. I can't see your request on the gadget here. Could the clerk help you so that you log in? Because I know you have been here and you've just taken that note. So I will allow you once Senator Mungatana speaks, once your gadget is set. Proceed, Senator Mungatana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I was saying I support that the IFMIS transactions and reports for each county should be made available to the senator for purposes of enhancing the oversight roles. Mr. Speaker, this is not a very difficult request that the Treasury is being called upon to do for the Senate. Why I say so, Mr. Speaker, is that already as a senator of Tana River County, I receive exchequer releases from the Treasury. Somebody always sends me that information so that you are up to date on what is being released by the Treasury. So my first point is, this is a matter of simply complying with a request from the Senate. You look for the figures, you compile them, and you transmit them. The National Treasury is already doing that when it releases exchequer reports in terms of the spendings that are being sent all over the country. So I would first of all want to urge that the Treasury should straight away comply once we pass this. There's nothing difficult about doing this. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I support this motion because it enhances the overall function of accountability that must be borne by the governors of this Republic of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, right now we are limited in terms of acting in real time. You know, Mr. Speaker, we are dealing with audit reports. The Auditor General brings the reports to the Senate, and we start examining those reports after the act has happened. Mr. Speaker, this means we are morticians. We are doing post-mortem analysis of how the funds have been misused or used by the governors of the 47 counties. So, Mr. Speaker, the good thing about this motion is that it is bringing real-time information to the senators so that, Mr. Speaker, you are able to know that if IFMIS is releasing this kind of money, there's this transaction that has happened, then we are able to trace and we are able to make the necessary political influence on those transactions. And even, Mr. Speaker, we are able in real time to raise the issues so that, Mr. Speaker, we are able to prevent the happening of corruption. We don't have to wait, Mr. Speaker, for the corruption to happen. Then we come to do a postmortem in the Senate. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this is a beautiful development of management of our funds. Why I say so, Mr. Speaker, is because in the past, in 2003, Mr. Speaker, we passed the national, we used to call it the CDF Act in those days. And the CDF Act, Mr. Speaker, did not have rules, did not have regulations. It had absolutely, you know, it was a free kind of money that was put on the table. And many members of parliament misused it. Mr. Speaker, I remember that members of parliament at that time, they would be the chair of the CDF itself. I remember one particular member of parliament, Mr. Speaker, who was the chair. He appointed his wife as the treasurer, his son as the secretary of CDF, and told them to sign their part for the withdrawal. So whenever he needed money for use, for whatever, he would just put his signature as is the last signature, and money is withdrawn, and you can imagine the amount of misuse that was there. Mr. Speaker, I even remember one particular member of parliament who used to use the CDF as his personal kitty for Harambes. And I know that that parliamentarian was followed even into court, and he served a short stint. Mr. Speaker, the national CDF at that time, after 10 years, in 2013, it was amended to make it better in terms of management of funds. Mr. Speaker, after the new constitution, it was again amended following a court decision to make it now the National Government Constituency Development Fund. So the point I'm putting is that even the CDF, it has had its progression towards superior management of public funds. It has had its process. Mr. Speaker, what we are saying with this improvement in the IFME system, we are saying where it is, it's not good enough. It's not a good tool for us to use to track the information of the transactions that are being done at the county level. So what we are saying is that with this motion, it will convert the Senate from merely dealing with audited reports, some of which are old, from being morticians to dealing with things that are real-time, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, I would urge colleagues who are listening to me and those who are listening online that this is a motion that we should pass early, as soon as possible. As soon as the debates are over, we should be able to pass this motion without delay. Mr. Speaker, real-time management, real-time overseeing of transactions gives us the advantage of saving, gives us the advantage of prevention. And the Englishman some time ago wrote and said the prevention is better than cure. And Mr. Speaker, I remember in particular in Tana River County, there was a planned trip to go to Canada, Mr. Speaker, by the governor and some fellows in the county to go and learn about governance, Mr. Speaker. And you're talking about a governor who has been a member of parliament, who is a retired major in the army. So there's nothing that they were going to learn. And Mr. Speaker, where were they going? They were going to some small county in Canada, to learn about governance for 2 weeks. When you cost that together with the people who are going to accompany, the county was going to spend about 12 million shillings in one trip, Mr. Speaker. And so, because of the communications that were there, the office of the senator took it up. And Mr. Speaker, we pushed with Canadian embassy. We even wrote to that county there and told them this is wastage, that the county has been misusing funds and there is nothing they were going to learn. And finally, Mr. Speaker, that trip never happened. Why? Because there was real-time checking on what the monies of the people of Tana River was going to be utilized for. So, Mr. Speaker, if the IFMIS reports, the IFMIS transactions are going to be real time, every month we are going to see what is happening, then if there is fraud that is ongoing, especially ongoing fraud, we will be able to take the necessary steps to stop and be able to do prevention, which is better than curing. So, Mr. Speaker, with those very many remarks, I want to urge that we support this motion, and I support. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Mungatana. I will now allow Senator Joyce Korir to make her contributions. Clerk, give Senator Joyce the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think my chat has some problems, but I thank the table clerks for managing it. Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank Senator Omutata for this wonderful motion that is before the House. And maybe before I do that, Honorable Speaker, let me also take this opportunity to welcome the members back from recess and interaction with the members of the public to the business of this House. Honorable Speaker, in a special way, allow me to also contribute to this motion, a motion that is so direct, which I don't want to believe there is anybody who is going to go against this motion, because the issues of IFMIS, the Integrated Financial Management Information System, is a system that was developed to be able to assist the Kenyans, the national government, the county government, and other sectors in terms of assisting the public in management of the resources of this country. Honorable Speaker, a number of speakers have spoken, and I want to say this, that indeed, Honorable Speaker, it's so hard for this House to do the oversight role without the real-time reports, which will enable them to do the right decision, Honorable Speaker. A number of times we've been talking about the pending bills across the country, either within the national government or within the county governments. Not only that, Honorable Speaker, we've been talking about the white elephants projects in our villages, which huge amount of public funds or resources have been put, but the projects are still hanging, Honorable Speaker, and we cannot tell the amount that was allocated, neither the monies that have been paid for the said projects, Honorable Speaker. The only time that this House will be able to do their oversight role in a better manner is through the production or giving them the IFMIS so that they can access information on real time and be able to make the decision, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to a procurement, this is one of the things that has really given us a lot of headache, because as we speak now, there is no single county that has no pending bills. There is no single county that can give us a proper report on procurement, not only the counties, but even within the national government. Honorable Speaker, the role of this House is the oversight. If they are going to be equipped with this IFMIS, Honorable Speaker, they will be able to do their role diligently, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I know the county assemblies try as much as possible to do their budgeting. The national parliament does their budgeting. But we don't have a track to make sure that the itemized budget that has been done is done accordingly, Honorable Speaker, and with the help of the instruments, the statutory instruments that we have, Honorable Speaker. These things, Honorable Speaker, have been specified fully within the PFM Act and other statutory instruments, which can enable us to really make sure that we are able to do our legislation and be able to do the oversight role which is envisaged in the Constitution, Honorable Speaker. So I just want to say that the only thing that I want to request this House is to move with speed and make sure that once this motion is approved, we make sure that it's implemented to the letter. And this, Honorable Speaker, I want to believe is going to sort out a number of problems that we have in Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have a lot of monies in this country, either within the national government or within the county government. Honorable Speaker, a number of projects are being run, but I can speak authoritatively, Honorable Speaker, that a number of us doesn't have the facts of how much those projects are costing and whether they have been paid or not. There is a lot of fraud that is going on, Honorable Speaker, where at some point you find a lot of things that are happening within the county governments and even with the national government. You find a contractor has been paid, and because of technology, Honorable Speaker, they go to an extent of removing it from the system and re-entering it again, just to be used as a cash cow, Honorable Speaker. These are some of the problems that can be weeded out once the money has been paid and the members are notified on time. Because for this House to act, or for the committees, the various committees that we have in this House to act, they always rely on the auditor's report, which takes a whole year. You are correcting it for the next financial year. It is a total mess. But if we would have been correcting these issues instantly, Honorable Speaker, I want to believe that this nation will move forward. So, Honorable Speaker, I just want to say that I would urge the members of this House to move with speed in terms of making sure that they pass this motion. And also, I want to agree with Senator Muma on the correction part that the House of the Senate has 67 senators. So it's our collective responsibility as a House to make sure that the oversight role that is the major role we are supposed to play is done by the 67 senators. So I just want to say that I support and I urge members, I urge the relevant office to make sure that this is implemented immediately. Thank you.
Senator Mogeni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to first thank the Senator for Busia, Senator Okia Omutata, for bringing this very, very progressive motion, Mr. Speaker. A motion that will, in a very great way, assist the senators in undertaking their oversight responsibilities within our respective counties. And Mr. Speaker, you must acknowledge that the people of Busia did this senator a very big favor by electing Senator Umtata, a man who has created an excellent record in litigating in our courts public interest cases, including the case that he has cited in this motion, Senate versus Council of Governors, petition number 24 and 27 of 2019. Mr. Speaker, looking at this motion, the main intention is to ensure that we extend the ambit of transparency and accountability on the use of public resources so that our governors can operate a system that is accessible to Kenyans and one that they have no fear if a third party is also going through to ensure that they are acting in compliance, in compliance with the Constitution and all financial regulation and laws of this country. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw the attention of this House, the kind of collaboration that exists in the House of Commons between the House of Commons and the Office of Comptroller Auditor General in the House of Commons. The two, Mr. Speaker, work
hand in hand. Because the intention, Mr. Speaker, is to ensure that public resources are used for their intended purposes. These two offices should work hand in hand. And now that these are now open, Mr. Speaker, remember that this Third Senate of the Republic of Kenya has now empowered senators with a fund, a small fund that helps senators undertake their oversight role. Mr. Speaker, the two should work hand in hand with the Office of the Auditor General. You have staff, Mr. Speaker, that work in your county office, Senator Vice Chair, Senator Joyce. We know that as the PSC we have supported the nominated senators with a few staff also. Mr. Speaker, these officers should work together with the Office of Auditor General and the Office of the Controller of Budget so that we are able to monitor how requisitions are made and payments are made by county governments, Mr. Speaker. In the UK, Mr. Speaker, they even do value for money reports because it's not about payments. We want to see that when you issue a tender and you're undertaking a project, there should be value for money, Mr. Speaker. I don't know what happens in other counties, but I've tried to follow. For example, budgetary allocations for water projects in my county of Nyamira. Mr. Speaker, every project I've visited, the only thing that the governor does is to drill a borehole. Once he has drilled the borehole, and he sets, for those ones who are lucky, he sets a kiosk, water kiosk, in that particular borehole. That is the end. If you were to talk about value for money, Mr. Speaker, once you drill a borehole, you should connect water to homes. Civilization demands, Mr. Speaker, that we supply water to our women. When I go to Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to see my women going to collect water from a borehole that is 1.2 kilometers from their houses, Mr. Speaker. I want to see my women in Nyamira donning a hairstyle like Senator Joyce. I don't want to see them carrying water buckets on their heads or like Senator Wakabubi here. We want our women to also make nice hairstyles and they draw water from piped water from their homes, Mr. Speaker. That's when I'll truly say that devolution has reached our counties, Mr. Speaker. People who reside in the cities, they don't go looking for water from boreholes, wherever that is. They draw water from pipes in their homes. And that's my dream as a senator of Nyamira, that when we work so hard to send money to our counties, women should draw water, piped water from their homes. That's the only time, Mr. Speaker, we will say that truly now we are seeing fruits of devolution. Mr. Speaker, if you go through audit reports, year in, year out, you will see the auditor making disclosures that some counties are making expenditure that is unsupported. Okay? You will see many pages drawing the attention of this House to irregular procurements in our counties. You will see reports by counties that have overemployed above 35%. I don't know what is the percentage in Tana River. In Nyamira, we have hit 67% of the revenue that we send to counties goes to salaries. Mr. Speaker, we did a special audit in Nyamira, and you find somebody is employed in TSC, but still being paid salary by the county government of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker. Chief officers, if you read that audit report, cannot account for staff in their respective departments. Yet, money that goes to county is supposed to take services closer to the people. We want to see excellent ECD classrooms in our counties. We want governors to stop this mentality that when you talk about county roads, it is just maraming roads. We want them to start tarmacking our roads. Because our Vision 30, Mr. Speaker, is to ensure that a maram road is 1.5 kilometers from the homes of Kenyans. That's our Vision 2030. If, Mr. Speaker, every financial year we send monies to our counties, and all they can do is to maram roads, when will this country achieve our goal on attaining a certain number of roads of kilometers that are tarmac, Mr. Speaker? So I support this motion because it will put governors on the spot on how they are utilizing the resources that are sent to their respective counties, Mr. Speaker. And we need to work very, very closely, Mr. Speaker, with the Office of the Controller, the Controller of Budget and Office of the Auditor General, Mr. Speaker. Every office of a senator should have contacts. Like now, Mr. Speaker, auditors have landed in Nyamira. They are doing an audit for this last financial year. I want them to work very closely with my staff, because it is us, Madam Speaker, who hold the responsibility of ensuring that money is used properly in our accounts. When they land in Bomet, you should have a keen interest. Which projects are they visiting, and how will that report look like, Mr. Speaker, when finally that report lands on the floor of this House? I've received reports, Mr. Speaker, that the governor of Nyamira has done something that is unprecedented. That as soon as auditors, external auditors landed in Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, he has suspended the internal auditor. I mean, you know Section 65 of the County Governments Act. The only office that has authority to hire and fire is County Public Service Board. A governor has got no authority to hire or to fire a member of staff, more so an internal auditor. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you make an internal auditor answerable to a governor, then you have killed audit in that respective county, Mr. Speaker. So, if the governor of Nyamira is watching or is listening, and I'm speaking to him as a senior counsel, let him allow the auditor, the internal auditor, to undertake the tasks of our office without any interference. Let the hold of that office avail all documents to the external auditor. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I'll bring that matter to the floor of this House so that the House takes it up. If we allow staff who are supposed to be independent in our counties to be harassed by governors, we are going to kill accountability and transparency in our respective counties. So I support this motion by my good friend, Senator Okia Omtata. Maybe I will propose that we amend it to go further and allow us an entry to work hand in hand with the Office of Controller of Budget and the Office of the Auditor General. And I've given you a very good example how this works in the House of Commons. These offices work very closely. In fact, meetings, Public Accounts Committee meetings in the House of Commons, Mr. Speaker, are supported by the Office of Controller and Auditor General in the UK. And I think that is what we should use as best international practice, incorporate it, so that we can work together with those offices to ensure that money that is sent to counties is used for the intended purposes to bring services closer to the people. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support. Thank you.
Senator Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to support this motion by the good senator from Busia that this is a very progressive motion, Mr. Speaker, and not just for the watchdog committees in the Senate, but even in building the ability for members of the public to follow what's going on in their respective counties, Mr. Speaker, as we put our heads together towards combating corruption in this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, many a times when the governors appear in the watchdog committees, and sometimes you ask specific questions, it's very easy for them to say, okay, that was a voided transaction. And because they know you're not going to dig deeper, or you do not have the benefit of seeing what is on the other side, they quickly get away with it, Mr. Speaker. So having such a system whereby members are able to see or access that information on real time is a breakthrough towards oversight, Mr. Speaker, and I feel that this motion should actually be supported strongly, because it goes a long way in helping the public protect resources or ensuring those that are given the mandate to oversee these resources are using the resources for the right functions. Mr. Speaker, we have very many cases of pending bills. We have contractors who've committed suicide on the basis of them not being paid. These are issues we should have avoided if money was being used for the intended purposes, and rightfully so, Mr. Speaker. So I really want to support this motion, that it's one way we are actually going to put governors, not just governors on the spot, but also build the capacity for members of the public to be able to oversight the leaders they've elected, because it's a challenge for members of the public to actually oversight when on the other side they actually have no information on what specifically we are looking at, because for a long time this appears to be a responsibility of the Senate only. It's not a responsibility of the Senate only, but the public also has the moral authority to question their elected leaders on what they are doing in their specific positions that they are serving, Mr. Speaker. So I want to support the motion by Senator Omtata and commend him for such a progressive initiative to this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wakwabubi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute towards this motion. I begin by commending Senator Omtata for these insightful thoughts on the IFMIS. My concern is drawn at paragraph 5, noting that as a result of unchecked financial information and systems, county governments have continued to accumulate pending bills resulting from unplanned expenditures, unaccounted for and inflated cost of projects. This is due to numerous incidents of irregular or rather procedural funding, which I could refer in simple terms as virement, because we also realize that there is a lot of violations regarding financial transfers, maybe from recurrent to development plans or vice versa. So I would also wish to propose that an amendment be put at that is paragraph 5, line 3, after unaccounted for, add the word virement and inflated cost of projects. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the motion be amended in the last paragraph by deleting the words, and I quote, respective senator, appearing in the 4th line of the last paragraph, and replace it thereafter with the words, and I quote, relevant oversight committees, as proposed by Senator Catherine Muma. I also wish to beg to move that the motion be amended in the 5th paragraph, line 3, by adding viament after the word for and add the word viament after for. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wakobubi, you will have to share that proposal to the amendment of the motion with the clerk for purposes of consideration and adoption.
I'm well guided, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yes, Senator.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to request Senator Commissioner Joyce Correll to second the proposal for amendments. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I second. Thank you.
Honorable Senators, with the contribution and the proposal by Senator Wakobubi, I now proceed to propose that the motion be amended in the last paragraph by deleting the words respective senator in bracket, appearing in the 4th line of the last paragraph, and replacing therefore the words relevant oversight committee. Now, senators, let's rise. Honorable senators, it's now 1 p.m. Time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until later today, Wednesday, 15th of July, 2026 at 2:30 p.m.